Welcome to unofficialaciguide.com. I'm Jody. Today we're going to look at segmentation in ACI with microsegmented EPGs. Let's take a look.
All right, we're going to take a look here at our final segmentation option, which is microsegmentation in ACI. It's one of the most popular options, and what you're doing here is you're defining a base EPG. In our case, it'll be net 100. That base EPG. We're bringing in the encapsulations from the virtualized devices. We're bringing in encapsulations from bare metal devices, different .1Q tags. That's the base EPG, right? And we're going to create what's called a microsegmented EPG, which is we're just taking a part of that EPG and slicing it off. And to further identify what's going to be placed in that microsegmented EPG, we're going to use something called attributes. So this could be, we could be nailing this down by IP address of the host, by DNS entry. We could be looking at VM attributes, which is what we'll be using, the VM name, for example, and that will identify what client or what endpoint is going to go and be placed into this microsegmented EPG. So the first thing we'll do is we'll look at our two EPGs, 101 and 105, and just show you, these guys are today in the same base EPG net 100. They can ping back and forth. They can SSH back and forth. Then we'll put one of them in the microsegmented EPG and show you how that affects the traffic. So, Javed, why don't you kick us off and show us from a domain level what we have to configure on that VMM domain to make this work from the base EPG and kind of go from there.
All right, thank you, sir. So here in this scenario, we have two VMs, 192, 168, 100, 101, and 192, 160, 100, that's 105. These two right now, they're pinging each other. As you can see, if I go to my VM, is 101, which is pinging 105. So the first thing you want to do from the domain level, you go in the VMM domain, and you see allow microsegmentation. We need to make sure this box is checked. So that enables microsegmentation. So if I cancel this, so now if I go to my uSeg, this is how we create our microsegmentation. So we right click, we create a new one. I call it dash 100 EPG. We select our BD. In our case, is 100. We select our VMM domain and update. Finish. Next, we're going to create our attributes. When you click on new uSeg, there's an option here, uSeg attributes. You right click. And as you can see, we click on this plus. And you select type. So we have options based on a different criteria. We can use IP, MAC, DNS. So in our case, we're going to use based on the VM name. And since the ACI and vCenter, they've been, they're talking to each other, so we know about all VMs in our data center. So we select here.
So we're going to pull this list down from vCenter itself.
Exactly. So right now, I'm going to go select VM 105. Well, I'm sorry, 101. Net 100, 101.
Okay.
So and select, and then we submit. If we go back to the operational tab on the new created uSeg, as you see that this new VM is being quarantined, and if we can. So now if I go back here, there we go, 101 showed up. If I go back here, did it ping?
Yeah, so it's not working.
Now, what I'm going to do is, but now let's say you have a device which has been quarantined and you want to do code upgrade or, but you only want the device can talk to other your SSH or something. So what we can do is we go back here. Now we can add a contract here. So we right click here. So he's going to be consuming, let's say you want to do SSH, allow SSH. So we can say SSH. This is my filter I created, submit. Contract here. And I provided the SSH here, is a provider. So now if I go back to my device, as you can see, you cannot ping 105. But what I can do is summon SSH to 105 now. Now I'm logged into 105. And you see that it's IP 100.105. So now things are, he's quarantined, but he's allowed to, based on the contract, to SSH to the device. Now,
so you can kind of think of this. I always think of microsegmented EPGs as like little Russian dolls. Have you guys ever seen those where you open the doll and another smaller doll pops out? You open a smaller doll and another doll pops out. That's kind of what we're doing here. Is we've got an EPG, the base EPG, and inside of that EPG, we've got this smaller EPG. And if it needs permission to talk to any other EPG like any other normal EPG, right? Use the contract.
Exactly. And also, what we've done we can automate this. We have set up, we have a new feature with the firepower, which ACI and firepower talk to each other, and then from firepower, we can dynamically tell ACI to quarantine the device, so you don't even have to do it manually. So that's the mechanism that firepower is using to make that happen. It's using microsegmented EPGs. Exactly. So there's a module set up. There's a module for firepower, which he talks to ACI. So and so if I go back here now, delete this uSeg. So let's say if I delete him and go back here, and then go back, and I should be able to ping my device. And it works again.
Yeah, because once the uSeg EPG is gone, this guy reverts back to his base EPG, right?
Exactly. So if I go back and we can go back to operational tab.
There he is.
101 shows up here. So
that's really powerful.
Yes, very powerful. So, any questions?
No, thank you, Java. This was awesome. Thanks, Luis.
Sure, no problem.
You're welcome.
Thanks for watching the video today. If you'd like more ACI how-tos, design guides, and best practices, check us out on the web at unofficialaciguide.com or on YouTube.